To police, a family friend worried about Charles Keithley. The friend hadn't heard from Keithley in some time, so fire crews responded to the home near 51st and Capitol around 5:30 p.m. That's when they found Keithley dead inside. Officials tell us Keithley's death was violent. Right now they're searching for suspects and more clues. We spoke with a man who was friends with Keithley back in the 80s. He says Keithley has family in Omaha and out of state. Neighbors tell us Keithley kept to himself, but they haven't seen his car in a while. Despite this weekend's murder, people in this area tell us they still feel safe in their normally quiet neighborhood. Now, Omaha police are still looking for more information to solve this case, so if you know anything that could help them, you should call Crime Stoppers. The number is 402-444-STOP. Remember, you're always anonymous. Not even officers will know your name. Back to you.
This week in the news, we're learning more about the murder of Charles Chuck Keithley. It was a very violent murder with a knife, lots of blood. 2 people arrested are no strangers to law enforcement. One of the guys shot somebody when he was a kid. The guy was paralyzed, committed suicide a few years later. Of course, there are some kids around, and here's the one question everybody wants to ask. Well, what was Keithley doing? Was he involved in some kind of drug deal? No. It wasn't anything like that. He was just a guy that got robbed and killed in Omaha, Nebraska. So I ask you again, why did Chuck Keithley have to die? He was born and raised in Detroit, had a couple kids, he was divorced. But if you look at these pictures from his Facebook page, we can piece together his life. He was just a regular old guy with a regular old job, living in a regular old town, with regular old friends, with regular old interests like college basketball. He watched Fox and Friends. He liked to work out at the gym. He used to run marathons. So why did he have to die? Trolls like to come in and say, Colin, you got it all wrong. All the crime in this country is intra-racial, not intraracial. Yeah, I keep looking for stories of white people breaking into the homes of a guy like Chuck Keithley, and I keep not seeing them. This is Omaha, Nebraska. You didn't know that Omaha was a and Lincoln? And there are lots of cases of racial violence, black and white crime in Omaha, Des Moines, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Why did Chuck Keithley have to die? These guys were in the system, in the criminal justice system, as Bernie and Hillary like to call it. They were in and then they were out. The one guy was sentenced to 10 to 22 years for shooting that guy that was paralyzed. He got out in 9 years. He didn't have to die. But at some point, we're all going to have to start asking the question, why did Chuck Keithley have to die? The fact that so many people, so many reporters, so many public officials, so many black activists, so many left-wingers are so eager to ignore, deny, condone, excuse, encourage, and even lie about the level of black mob violence and black-on-white crime in this country. Part of the reason has to be there are so many people invested And the great lie of our generation, the myth of black victimization, the idea that black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere, that explains everything. Especially why cops are always picking on black people.